Hello everyone, this is Khalilah Holmes bringing you another video on this time how to make a shirt using 100% Gildan shirt. I'm going to be placing a butterfly on there. I'm not going to use sublimation, and I'm not going to use the vinyl, because a vinyl there's a lot of layering to it, and also there's a lot of weeding. On the sublimation, you have to make sure that you have, you can't, as a matter of fact, it's hard to use 100% cotton shirt unless you use vinyl first and then place the sublimation paper on top of that. It's like a 2-4, you have to do a duplicate, and it takes a little while to do that as well. So what I've found is I like to try, and I'm going to try using what I have bought here is, and I hope you can read this, is Jolene's, and it's a transfer paper. And you can use it on a light color, and it would say here light, and you have the dark that you can use this on. However, I'm going to be using a white shirt today to do my transfer on. And you can use this to do picture transfers and other transfers where you don't have to do all that layering of your vinyl and sublimation, that expensive sublimation. Not that I'm talking against it, because I do both as well. At least I'm trying to learn. And so what I have done, and I'm going to show you this shirt. I did put a butterfly, and I'm going to step back a little bit. I did use the Jolie paper, and I put a butterfly on this 100% cotton shirt, and it did come out quite well. And you can add vinyl font onto it, and that's what I plan on doing with this shirt. So I'm going to go through the different steps on how I was able to do this, and how I proceeded at putting the butterfly on there, and how I did the fonts. So again, like I said, I'm learning, and I hope you learn with me. And if you have any comments, please send them to me, and so we can learn together. And I hope this video will inspire you to keep going. It's been inspiring to me, and I'm gonna, make mistakes, but hopefully, and I know I will, I'm not going to say hopefully, I will learn from my mistakes, but I'm going to keep pressing on. So let's get started and join me, okay? Thank you. Okay, everyone, what I've done, I put the butterfly on there, but let me show you what I did first. I had already saved the butterfly in my projects, and Cricut does have butterflies images that you can select, because that's what I did. I went into the images and I typed in butterflies, and when I went to search, you can find all types of butterflies in here, and then you could add it, highlight it, and add it to your canvas. So since I already had my project already, I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to go back because I had the butterfly already pulled up, and the measurements on this is 7.6 by 6.6, and you can unlock it to change the sizes of the height or the width. So since I'm satisfied with the height and the width, I'm going to lock it so it doesn't change. But like I said, if you wanted to change it, you could go here for the height and make it longer, or you can go here and make it wider. So I stuck with 6.6, so I'm gonna go back to 6.6, and then I'll lock it here. And again, you can always enlarge it here as well. You don't have to go up there. You just get your little cursor over here and you could rotate it, or you can just pull it down with your cursor right here to make it larger. So I'm going to move this back up to 7.6 and make sure it's locked so it doesn't change. So I think that's pretty much the central on the t-shirt. And so what I'll do now, I will go to, if I'm satisfied with the color and everything, I'll go to make it. And as you see, it's pretty large. That's why I went to 7.6. Okay. And it's on the canvas. And you can, these three dots here where you can move it. But I'm not going to mess with that. And you can see the sizes here. And this black line around here is for it to be cut. So I'm not going to let Cricut cut it for me. I am going to cut it myself since it is not going through Cricut. I'm going to do the inkjet printer that I have. I'm going to let it print out through my inkjet printer, and I'm going to cut it out myself. So right here, make sure you mirror. And then when I do that, I am going to go to print, and I just go to continue. And it says to send to printer. And I am going to change because I do have a different printer that I would send it to. Now, I do have the Epson 2720 series that I can print it out to, because that one is not sublimation. I can also print it out to the 2760 series, which is a sublimation printer. So what I'm going to do is just print this out right now. When you send it to the printer, it will ask you, do you want it on add bleed? And I take the bleed off because it'll tell you here what the bleed is. Bleed extend ink slightly beyond the borders of the image. And I don't want to do that. I just want it to be as natural as possible. But I do add the system dialog, because what that does, it shows the printer. And on the printer, you can make changes as far as your preferences, color, or your orientation for your printer preferences. So while I'm sending this to my printer, preparing to send it to the printer, I will be back afterwards to show you how it printed out. And what I'm going to do too is I'm going to cut it to save time and show you what it looked like when I cut it. One of the things I forgot to tell you is I did say I was going to add some text. So what I did, I went over here to text and I got the box out. And what I was going to type to put on the shirts under each butterfly is hope and wisdom. And of course, I'm not going to make it that large. Again, you can make the adjustments up here with the width and the height. Or, again, you can use these the arrows to bring it out like this. Or, again, just make sure that you unlock it if you want to change, the width, or you want to go to, the height and make it longer. You can go here and make it longer this way, or you can go here and wait to the arrow and you can pull it out this way. So what I have done, I had go over here to the font and you can change it. And I like to use the times. I just type in time and do a search. Oh, okay. let's go back and let's see here. Again, excuse me. If I want to go back, and of course, I'm gonna go back in here and put the name of the one, or either Sands. I usually just put like a part of it and it pulls it up for me. Um, that one was the Cricut Sand. Some of this you have to pay for. You can go out to other websites and use their font and then download it. I've done that as well. And if you want to know the name of those other font application or companies that are free, I will put that in my descriptions as well. I just used the script that it picked up for me and highlight all of it. And now I'm going to adjust it with my arrow and probably move it back a little bit so it won't look so fake looking. I want it to look as natural as possible, but I don't want it too long. I want it to fit right under the butterfly. So I'm just going to make this a little wider, and I think I want to do it 5.5. And then I'm going to do probably, let's see how it looks, about 1.5. And so what I'm going to do now, I highlight this, make sure it's attached, go down here and attach it. And then I'm going over here to make it. And it's asking me what kind of mat here. And I do continue. And what I usually do, I did like the everyday mat. Make sure you mirror this. And you can make adjustments on the mat. Some people think they can't, but you can if you feel like, okay, I want to move this around, because a lot of times the vinyl that I cut on or put it on, I still have some more space, so I can move this round to the bottom of that mat where I have some areas left, or to the side. So I'll use my cursor to move this around. So what I'm going to do, since I'm going to be making 2 shirts and they're both going to be different butterflies, I'm just going to demonstrate for you one. And this is one of the fonts that I'm going to use. So what I do, I just send it and it connects to my Maker here. And once it connects to my Maker, yeah. Once it connects to my Maker, then I will print it off. It's going to ask me to, okay, that's my heat press going off over here. It's trying to find my Maker. Okay, then it's going to ask me whether I want to do what type of material I'm using, and matte, and it's an everyday iron-on vinyl, vinyl. And then it goes to pressure. I'm going to use more pressure to make sure it cuts right. And then from there, on your Cricut, it's going to start blinking the light. And then you go to the Cricut and turn it on. So from here, I'm going to go and do that process, get it printed out, and then I'll be back with you to show you the rest. Like I said, Jennifer Makers has these little necks, seam lines, so that you can measure to make sure you're centered. Like, I fold my shirt in half, and like I use 3 inches from the neck to make sure, and I try to center it using my guidelines where I fold the shirt in half. The instructions on that comes with the transfer paper, this is it here, and it talks about how you mirror, how do you can cut it out, or if you have a cutter Some people have a cutter machine. You could run it through the cutter and let it cut for you. But I don't have a cutter, and I didn't run it through Cricut. I just did an inkjet printer, a regular inkjet printer, to print this out. But it does have instructions here, and as you can see, this is a white shirt, and it'll tell you the white, and that got an X on the black to show it's not for dark shirts. Now they do have the transfer paper for dark color shirts, but I'm doing a white one, so that's why I didn't worry about cutting it perfect around the edge, because it's a white shirt. I'm going to use some tape, heat press tape, to tape it in place so it doesn't move when I'm pressing it. And I got my Cricut machine that's over here, the Easy Press. I'm going to use the Easy Press to press out the shirt. Now I do have a regular heat press machine that I could use, but I decided that I'm just gonna, use this Easy Press, because it's right now is easy, at easy reach for me. So right here I have my butterfly here. I have my Easy Press on 315 for 30 seconds, and I'm gonna do back and front, and we're gonna see how it turns out. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little pressure on it, and I use my Easy Press to do this shirt with. And as it count down, like I said again, and I'll tell you the name of show you this, is Jolene for light fabrics, and you get 10 in there. And I think I got mine from either from Joann's or Office Depot. So as I did that side, I'm gonna turn it over. I do have my little mat here underneath there. Don't have to use anything in between the shirt to keep it from bleeding or the color or anything. I didn't have to do that. So here's my other 30 seconds that I'm doing, and that's when I turn the shirt over on the opposite side. And you could give it a little press. It don't have to be heavy. I just did like a medium. And it's counting down now. And one of the things I found out, I have to be real careful. I made the mistake of putting a paper over it, the butcher paper over it once it was done. I had removed the paper off the backing and messed up the design. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm not going to do that. Since I'm going to put the font on there, I'm going to leave it on there before I take it off. This is the font I'm using, and I did the weeding already. And what I'm going to do is cut a little bit of it off. Got my scissors. Okay, I'm going to cut it down a little bit. Cut it so it won't be, because it's two. I printed out 2 on one since I had enough on the paper, and it's 2 different people that I'm doing it for, and they wanted 2 different sayings, so phrases. So I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying this out instead of using the sublimation printer, and I do have a sublimation printer too. So this is my first one. And I'm going to make sure it's center as well. Now some people fold theirs in half, and I have a way of doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, looking at the letters, and sort of, this one has 9 up top, so I sort of like going in the middle to make it sort of even. So, okay, this is where I'm putting this. I don't have enough room up top, and because of, I don't know what they call these little things or whatever, I could put it on the side. The shirt really doesn't look good like that. And I could put it go up where it goes in between there. That might be a nice little idea. Let's see. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this down. I might have to use heat tape to hold this down in place. And we're going to see how this come out. I'm praying that it does come out okay. Okay. Again, I have it on 30 seconds and I have the heat on 315. So again, I didn't want to take the backing off the butterfly because I might mess it up once I'm trying to do the font. I didn't want to take a chance on doing that. So I also flip it over on the other side. And I'm going to do it again. With the easy heat press, I like to do it both sides to make sure that, you know, I have enough pressure on it, and to make sure that I'm doing it on both sides, getting enough heat on it. Now, I like my easy press, heat press machine. However, I did have some problems with the timer on it, and you really have to play with it. I end up had to count it on with my watch on the timer because I kept pressing the button and it wouldn't work well. Okay, so what I'm going to do, turn this back over. And I'm just going to give it a once again. I'm just like to make sure that everything sticks really well to the shirt before I take it off. Same thing with my butterfly. Maybe I shouldn't do it, but I just put a little bit more heat to the butterfly as well. So counting down the last couple of minutes. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let this cool off, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, everyone, I'm returned. I've removed the paper off the butterfly and also the paper off the vinyl. And I have to say this butterfly came out really nice and smooth. And the idea of putting her name in between there came out really nice. So, you know, the paper, of course, you can see I've sort of ripped it off a little bit here. Didn't come off that easy, but the shirt itself, it really came out really nice, as you can see, and this saved me a lot of time on doing sublimation on a cotton shirt. And like I said, this is the Gildan 100% shirt, and so I hope you've learned something with me today, and I will be doing another butterfly, and I'm going to show you that butterfly as well. Again, the transfer paper that came from Jolene, and I'll use this to put pictures on, do any kind of design on there that require layering, doesn't require any layering or any sublimation. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Please give this a thumbs up, and you have a wonderful